In the world of sports, some careers seem destined for greatness, while others are shaped by the trials and tribulations of fate. The term star-crossed refers to a situation or relationship doomed to fail due to unfortunate circumstances or bad luck, originating from the belief that the positions of the stars influence our destinies. Tim Duncan, often regarded as one of the greatest power forwards in NBA history, is frequently overlooked in discussions of the greatest player of all time, despite winning multiple titles and MVP awards. Why is this player undervalued? Duncan was born and raised in St. Croix, U.S. Virgin Islands. In school, he was a bright pupil and dreamed of becoming an Olympic-level swimmer. However, in 1989, Hurricane Hugo destroyed the island's only Olympic-sized swimming pool. Forced to swim in the ocean, Duncan's fear of sharks ended his enthusiasm for the sport. He never competed again, but was inspired by his brother-in-law to turn to basketball. In college, he played for the Wake Forest Demon Deacons. By his sophomore season, Duncan was considered one of the best college players. Jerry West even mentioned that if Duncan had entered the 1995 draft, he would have been the #1 pick. However, Duncan decided to finish college before turning pro. If Duncan had entered the NBA at 19 years old, he would have been drafted by the Golden State Warriors to team up with veteran stars Chris Mullin and Tim Hardaway. The Warriors finished with a 36-46 record that year and missed the playoffs. With Duncan, they might have made the playoffs, but his story might not have been as successful as it turned out with the Spurs. In the 1997 draft, Duncan was selected by the San Antonio Spurs, a team drafting at the top spot due to an injury-riddled season. The Spurs had former MVP David Robinson, who played only 6 games in the 1996-1997 season due to injury. With the Twin Towers and coach Greg Popovich, the Spurs improved their win total by 36 games, finishing with a 56-26 record, but losing in the Western Conference semifinals to the Utah Jazz. By Duncan's second season, Coach Popovich entrusted him with the main role, and Robinson accepted playing second fiddle. The Spurs reached the NBA Finals, defeating the New York Knicks to win Duncan's first of 5 NBA titles in his career, alongside 2 MVP seasons and 3 Finals MVP awards. Duncan won a championship as the main man of his team in only his second season, a feat that even Michael Jordan and LeBron James needed more experience to achieve. But why was Duncan never celebrated like other NBA greats? Despite championships, impressive stats, and longevity, why isn't he considered the greatest of all time by most fans? Spectators crave excitement in sports. They want to see dunks, blocks, and no-look passes. Moments like LeBron James and Dwayne Wade connecting for full-court alley-oops, Kobe Bryant tossing passes to himself off the backboard, or Derrick Rose contorting his body to make a layup. Duncan's play was simple yet highly effective, combining an array of low-post moves, mid-range bank shots, and tough defense. However, he rarely showcased athletic dunks or made the weekly top plays. Detractors labeled him boring due to his effective but straightforward style, earning him the nickname, the Big Fundamental. Duncan himself addressed this boring image, stating, "If you show excitement, then you also may show disappointment or frustration. If your opponent picks up on this frustration, you are at a disadvantage." Duncan not only outplayed opponents, but also outpsyched them. Shaquille O'Neal praised Duncan's on-court demeanor, writing in his autobiography, "The Spurs won because of Tim Duncan, a guy the first could never break. I could talk trash to Patrick Ewing, get in David Robinson's face, or get a rise out of Alonzo Mourning, but when I went at Tim, he'd look at me like he was bored." Kevin Garnett admitted he had to stop trash-talking Duncan, as it didn't affect the Spurs center and instead threw Garnett off his game. What really pissed me off was when the trash talk wasn't affecting him. So now, you're spending all this energy trying to rile him up, and you forget about your own game. That's when I quit talking trash to Timmy. Even notorious trash talkers like Draymond Green and DeMarcus Cousins found Duncan impossible to provoke. He would simply smile and make his bank shot, defeating opponents not just physically or verbally, but mentally. Duncan spent his entire career with the San Antonio Spurs, a team in a smaller media market. Teams in larger markets like Los Angeles, New York, and Chicago often receive more national television coverage. Despite their success, the Spurs were less frequently featured in primetime games, reducing Duncan's visibility to casual fans and diminishing his presence in national sports conversations. Major sports networks and media outlets are headquartered in larger cities, leading to more extensive coverage of teams and players from those areas. Duncan, playing in San Antonio, didn't benefit from the constant media spotlight enjoyed by players in bigger markets. Teams from larger cities often have broader national and global followings, enhancing a player's brand. Despite Duncan's success, the Spurs' smaller market limited his ability to become a global icon like players from more prominent franchises. Despite consistent success, the Spurs never won consecutive championships. Phil Jackson even stated the San Antonio Spurs were a great force rather than a dynasty. Their 5 championships spanned 3 different decades. Comparatively, other NBA superstars enjoyed more prolonged dominance. Bill Russell's Celtics dominated the 60s. Magic Johnson's Lakers won 5 titles in the 80s. Michael Jordan's Bulls had 2 three-peats in the 90s. Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal also achieved a three-peat. LeBron James reached 4 NBA Finals with the Heat, winning 2, and Stephen Curry's Warriors appeared in 5 consecutive finals, winning 4 titles in 8 years. Some argue the Spurs' impact and dominance were less pronounced due to the absence of back-to-back championships or a shorter peak period of dominance. Greg Popovich's coaching philosophy prioritized the team over individual accolades. The Spurs system emphasized unselfish play, ball movement, and defense, downplaying individual statistics. Their offensive strategy sought the best shot, regardless of who took it, leading to balanced scoring. Role players like Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili, and later Kawhi Leonard were crucial to the team's success, sharing the spotlight with Duncan. While Duncan won 2 MVP awards, 2002, 2003, his individual stats sometimes lacked the eye-catching appeal of players in systems designed for individual performance. This occasionally impacted his MVP candidacy and other individual awards. When Duncan entered the NBA, it was still Michael Jordan's league, winning his final title. After Jordan retired, Duncan won his first title, but soon a new duo emerged to take the league's spotlight: Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal. These 2 charismatic stars, in larger markets with their public feud, captured the media's attention. When Duncan won his second title, a high school phenom named LeBron James entered the league, becoming the face of the NBA. The media gravitated towards dramatic stories and sensational personalities. The off-court drama, high-profile feuds, and larger-than-life personas of Kobe, Shaq, and LeBron provided ample material for media coverage, overshadowing Duncan's quieter, drama-free career. The larger markets of Los Angeles and Miami, where these superstars played, commanded more media resources and attention. San Antonio's smaller market meant fewer media personnel covered Duncan and the Spurs. Duncan's brilliance was often underappreciated in real time because it seamlessly integrated into the Spurs team's success. Only in hindsight has there been broader recognition of his impact and individual greatness. Despite being somewhat star-crossed by factors beyond his control, such as his quiet demeanor, playing in a small market, and sharing the spotlight with other high-profile superstars, Tim Duncan's legacy remains untarnished. His unparalleled success, team-first mentality, and fundamentally sound game have earned him a rightful place among the NBA's greatest players. Duncan's story is a testament to humility, consistency, and dedication, proving that true greatness transcends the spotlight and is measured by lasting impact and respect.